All week, I've been hearing about the power of personalization here at the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. And at the vanguard of this movement are companies like Moderna. This is a revolutionary biotech firm that's creating a whole new class of medicines based on messenger RNA, the software of life. They're trying to reprogram your cells to fight off everything from infections, cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and rare genetic disorders. Now, I recommended the stock at 18 and change not that long after it came public. That was back in December of 2018, and it's been a wild trader. I think it has a ton of potential. So earlier today, we checked in with Stefan Bancel. He's the CEO of Moderna. So take a look. Stefan, I think it's fair to say that I found your presentation maybe the most exciting at the entire conference. And one of the reasons is because you have a new class of medicine.
Well, thank you, Jim, for having me, and thank you for your nice comment. Yes, we're very excited. Since we started Moderna now 8 years ago, the vision has always been very crisp. It has been, if we can make messenger RNA work safely in humans, it will be a very broad platform, a new class of medicines where we can go after cancer, infectious disease, rare disease, and many more.
Many people have RNA, and it's all on the drawing board. It's all whiteboarded. It's frankly not ever going to get to us, I think. You are incredible. You got going to phase 3 on what could be a $2 to $5 billion opportunity now.
Yes, so we are very excited. We have a vaccine. We just presented the clinical data last week against CMV, cytomegalovirus. It's a virus that, if it infects a woman during pregnancy, will be transmitted to the baby and will have massive, impact on the brain development of a baby. It's the #1 cause of birth defect in this country.
Number one.
People
who've not heard of CMV need to know that you're attacking something big, not orphan.
Correct. Very big. And we believe that every woman in the age of bearing a child in this country should get vaccinated once, hopefully, this vaccine gets launched.
It reminds me of how much Emma Walmsley's doing, Glaxo, with shingles.
Yes, exactly. Shingles, which is a wonderful vaccine that Glaxo got approved a couple of years ago, actually sold $1 billion first year of launch, which is quite remarkable, and it's going to grow into multi-billion-dollar product.
I think people have to recognize it's also a little bit like Gardasil for Merck, and Merck happens to be a partner. The Biomedical Advanced Research and Development look to you. Gates Foundation look to you for what you're doing.
Yes, I think everybody that has tried for many years to find a new technology to do vaccination right. If you think about it, there's still a lot of viruses for which we do not have vaccines yet. And if you think about it from an economic standpoint, vaccines are actually the best returns on healthcare dollars.
Right, and I think that what we have to recognize is that what you're doing doesn't cost nearly as much money as typical tests and produces a far better return on equity.
Yes, I mean, the piece that we have is a platform. And if you think about the pharmaceutical industry, there's really never been a platform, meaning what you do in the science in the labs on one drug, you can use that learning on the next drug.
Stefan, I think we have to talk about something that I think is really important out here. Personalization of medicine. Personalized cancer vaccine in our lifetime?
Yes, it's happening actually right now. We have a phase 2 study going on where we are designing every product for every patient. So we start by taking a biopsy of a cancer. We next-gen sequence it. We next-gen sequence a healthy cell of a body. We send everything to the AWS. We compare every letter of it
to
AWS,
to Amazon Web Services.
Correct.
You send it to AWS.
Yes.
And they do.
And we compare every letter of the DNA, the 3 gigabyte of letter of a cancer cell and a healthy cell. And from that, we deduce what do we need to do in our product just for your cancer.
I find, well, it's almost science fiction what you're up to.
Yes, and it's happening now. And again, it goes back to this platform, which is, unlike traditional medicine, we do not have to figure out how to make in our factory each product. They're all the same. mRNA is an information molecule. It's like software. It's a software of life. There are 4 letters that makes every one of our drugs. It's just the order of the letters that goes from product 1 to product 2. So once you figure out how to make it work once, which were done, for example, for vaccines, then you can have a lot of new products coming very quickly. And the return on investments is really spectacular because you don't have to reinvent everything. You just fly.
That's how you can have 20 drugs in development out just in a few years' time?
Correct. last 4 years.
I think it's incredible. I also think that when I look at what you guys are doing, one that hasn't been a problem right now, but was a huge problem, Zika.
Yes, so it's part of a company's mission, which is, of course, we want to invest our shareholder capital to do great products like CMV, but we think we have a responsibility to make sure that vaccines, like a vaccine against Zika, are developed. And for this, we partner with a government, this is paid by the US government, or with foundations like the Gates Foundations, to use their capital, but we make the platform available for free, and we develop the product. So the Zika vaccine is in the clinic, because Zika, unfortunately, is going to come back one day. Nobody knows when, nobody knows where. But if you look at what happened with Ebola, and thankfully now Merck, our partner, have an approved Ebola vaccine, that's really important.
All right, so you're working on amazing things. Just to sum it up, you are basically about to go into phase 3 in what I would think is actually record time for a mass product.
Yes, and again, go back to the platform, which is in traditional medicines, you will have to have teams of engineers figuring out how do you scale this product in the factory.
Right.
But for us, it's always the same. So we can move very quickly from the lab to phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3 to commercial very quickly.
I wish people understand how hard it is to do a typical drug. Now, your drugs vaccines are far more effective than pills.
Yes, and if you think about our vaccines versus traditional vaccines, because you make your own protein in your own cells, it's like a natural infection.
Right.
When you get infected, the virus uses your cells to replicate. So we do exactly that.
Well, I got to tell your story. I got to tell your story to everybody, because this is the kind of story that people have to recognize is happening in our lifetime. And I didn't think it could. I want to thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you very much.
Okay. That's Stefan Bancel. He is Moderna CEO. I urge you. It is in English. You can read it. You can find out what this company's doing. I think it'll astound you. It astounded me when I read it. Stay with me.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.